Hi guys, this is Claudia again for the Real Deal Irish Moss, and I just wanted to talk to you guys today briefly about my favorite subject, Irish Moss slash sea moss. But before I do that, I just wanted to say that this has been a really hard year for a lot of us, and I don't think that it's being said enough. And I just want to be here to continue saying it. If it is being said, more power to you. If you're not hearing it enough, I feel like I should be one of those people that are shouting it from the mountaintops, right? That before we put on the masks and before we put on the gloves and before we wash our hands repeatedly, which we always have to do, the most important thing, I believe, is what we're putting in our mouths, because that's the only way that we can build our immune system. And building our immune system is the only way that we're going to be able to fight this thing and fight this thing with the right kind of power. And with that, I'm going to show you guys some sea moss or slash Irish moss that I have been familiar with for the last maybe year or so, that I've been researching this and trying to understand more about sea moss slash Irish moss. So I'm going to show you guys that in a second. All right, so here we go. So here we go. I just wanted to show you guys some varieties of sea moss, because there's a lot of questions about which sea moss is the right one, and people are so unsure that they're getting the right stuff and things like that. So I just felt that it would be wise for me to show you guys that there are literally hundreds of sea moss under the ocean, hundreds of different types of Irish moss. And depending on the area in the world that you receive your sea moss from, it might look different. I really wanted to get some of the ones that are like the European style, or the ones from like Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and those places, because they're darker colors and they look different, but they are nonetheless still potent and they're still good. So I'm not one of those people that are going to tell you to buy my particular sea moss, because it's not true when you say that your particular sea moss is the best one. It's not. The only thing that you should be looking for is making sure that there's not granulated salt, thick granulated salt on it, because those are considered farm raised. They're still good. They still have minerals. And as I tell everyone, farm raised fish and sea fish, you still eat it, but so the sea fish is the one that is better if you're not a vegan, but you understand what I'm trying to say. The sea fish is the one that's better over the farm-raised fish, but you can still eat farm-raised fish. So today I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the different ones that I have become familiarized with over the years, right? So this particular one here is from Honduras. This is the red algae, and this is the one that usually when you go to Usha Village, you'd get ones that look like this, or if it's like a white kind, even though, sorry, not white, but brown colored, right? But this one here is from Honduras, right? And then all the other ones that I have here are from Jamaica, but depending on where on the island you go, you might get different ones, right? So this particular one is from Jamaica. This is what it looks like. This is a half ounce. This is a half ounce here. And remembering that Irish moss swells up to 2 to 3 times its size, depending on how long you let it soak for, right? This one is a half ounce, right? And I only soaked this about an hour ago, right? So you can imagine, this is a half ounce of sea moss, right? And you see what it looks like? It looks almost like small, fine macaroni pieces, right? And after it swells up, this is what it looks like, right? So there's a lot of gelatin in this one. There's lots of gelatin in this, right? So that's what that one looks like. This particular one here, this one here is also from Jamaica. And this one here, actually I should have told you, this one is from Hanover side, like Hopewell. That's where I purchased this one, right? Right by the seaside there at Hopewell. And then this one here is from the Negril side, right? And this is what this looks like. And this is an ounce. And this is the same ounce 3 hours later. Right? So you see the difference? Right? So some of you are always saying how they look different. This is a different type, right? Okay. This one is from Broughton, close to Negril also, but this is a Westmoreland side, same, but this is from Broughton Beach. I purchased this one, right? And you notice these ones look like little tiny spaghetti pieces, right? And this is what the same, oh, sorry, I should have said, this is an ounce, and this is the same ounce. This is the same ounce that I soaked 2 hours ago. As you can see, the big difference. And the difference between a lot of these is that this one, it doesn't have as much sulfur in it. That's why it doesn't look as gelatin as this, right? Or sorry, what am I trying to say? This one has more sulfur. This one has more sulfur, right? So the more sulfur it has in it, the less gelatin it becomes, right? More sulfur doesn't necessarily mean better. It's just more sulfur. So more sulfur, the less gelatin it becomes. Less sulfur, the more gelatin it becomes. Just like these, or like this one here. There's less sulfur in it, but it doesn't mean it's less, it's not as good. It's just as good. All right? And this is the one that I sell. Right? This one here. This is the one that I sell. Okay? In the packaging. This one I got in Manchester. I don't have an image of what that one looks like. Oh, this one looks like wet. But this is from Manchester, like maybe closer to Alligator Pond, right side. You can get like the ones that would look like this. Okay? This one here is also from Broughton Beach. And if you notice, they're similar, but depending on where they harvested them, there's varieties all over the place. And it depends on the one that the divers get when they go down there, right? So you see the difference, right? So this one here would look more like this one, right? So you guys, I hope that this video wasn't too long. I know that lots of us, our attention span is not as strong as it used to be. But I just thought that I would show you guys that there are varieties of them. And the varieties, as long as they don't have a lot of salt on them, as you see that most of these come up and they look dry and crisp. And you can't see any particles of salt. The salt is there, but it's sea salt, and it's just sea salt that's dried on it. But you're not supposed to be able to see physical sight of it. And I'm not knocking the other man's sea moss still, or the other man's Irish moss, because freshwater fish or pond fish or raised farm fish can eat. But it's not the same as the sea fish. And we all know that, but we still eat it, and it's cheaper too sometimes, right? And it's better, I guess, you get some sea moss than no sea moss at all. But if you want real wild-crafted sea moss, you need to look for things like that, right? Varieties like this, okay? All right, guys, so I hope that I've educated you guys a little bit, because as I become informed, I pass on the information to you guys. So peace and blessing for the coming year. Thank you.